Jimmy Savile, move on over, because it turns out there's someone out there who's even more vile than you are. Former Lost Prophets frontman Ian Watkins sensationally admitted this week to 23 counts of child abuse and sex offences. Mr. Watkins, apparently a demon posing as a Welshman, is set to be convicted for a series of lewd crimes, including possessing and making child pornography, possessing images of bestiality, raping minors, and even the attempted rape of an 11-month-old baby. Hide your daughters, babies, and your pets. What do you have to say, Scooby-Doo?
You're right, Scoob. We're dealing with one sick son of a bitch.
And if you don't think that was horrific enough, a man from Belfast has been sentenced to 16 years in prison for years of abusing and raping his own daughter. Liam Adams admitted to committing ghastly acts of depravity against his daughter between a period of 6 years, but has failed to show any remorse for his crimes. Okay everyone, just because Jimmy Savile raised the bar for paedophilia doesn't mean all you sick bastards out there can try to outdo him. A British spending watchdog has claimed that the government isn't doing enough to have former students repay back their loans. According to figures, more than £5 billion is owed by postgraduates who are obliged to pay back the money they borrowed for their tuition fees, but simply don't earn enough to do so. Well, raising the tuition fees to £9,000 a year certainly was a fucking bright idea in light of that information, wasn't it? A high school in Chigwell, Essex has refused to comment on one of its past students, specifically Joey Essex, regarding his education. When asked as to why Mr. Essex was unable to comprehend simple skills such as telling the time, West Hatch High School simply replied that his time spent learning there was confidential and not up for discussion. So I suppose when a school like that boasts of its pupils achieving record GCSE scores, I suppose the passing grade starts at F now, does it? Sure, it's a bad week if your name is Ian Watkins, ain't it? Well, I guess that's what H from Steps found out when he discovered his face plastered all over an online tabloid news website condemning him as a filthy paedophile. The pop star, whose real name happens to also be Ian Watkins, found his image accompanying a story on E-Online describing the disgraceful exploits of his Lost Prophets namesake. The website later issued an apology. What a tragedy. Well, fuck off. Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho has claimed the old excuse for his team's recent loss in the Champions League on his squad being too tired. In the post-match interview, Mourinho claimed his players were too fatigued from international duty and their previous weekend fixture against West Ham. Not to call bullshit on that statement or anything, but why didn't you just field the fit players that you claimed couldn't make the squad because there were only 11 spaces to fill?
For this week's weather, it's going to be quite calm and mild, except for this big depression hanging over the Houses of Parliament once all this paedophile crap ends, and we can get back to focusing on all your misdeeds.
Thank you for watching the News Roundup.